This is new. This is the new water bottle. Anyway,
And you need just water bottle strats then.
Wow.
You like a
I need to work
straw.
Yeah.
I need to work on my thirst game. Yeah.
Friends, welcome. This is Cyberpunk 2020 second edition. We'll be playing 2020 plus Cyberpunk campaign. Episode 0 character creation is here. We will not be playing tonight. We will simply be making our characters and talking about the world. Thank you for that sub, Glimo. Your giant name just appeared over my
Thanks,
face.
Glimo.
Thanks, Glimo. There's a lot to do tonight, so be ready for it, folks at home. I'm just going to give you a brief overview. I'm going to introduce all of our players. We're going to talk about what is Cyberpunk as a genre, then what is Cyberpunk 2020 as a system. We're going to talk about where we'll be playing in, which is Redline City, New Jersey. And then we're going to make our characters, which you'll notice is literally the last thing we do. I recently made a group of characters with my Patreon group. It took about 3.5 hours for 4 of them, so I expect that our whole 4 hours will be occupied in making characters. Fortunately, Henley, aka Dave over here, is a 2020 master. He's done, what do you say, 40, 50 episodes of this? I was a player on the first part of your show.
Yeah, so I did one. I did a whole season of this with like Eat My Addiction and Falcius and Bikeman back in the day. And that was really, really popular. We did like 15, 16 episodes. And then I made Night City, and you did 25 episodes with me, or 20 episodes or something. And then I made a season 2, and we made another version. We made like, so the first season, which is like the spiritual like this, from what I understand, Arthur's pointing this as the spiritual successor to the first season of Night City.
Yep. Because
it was sort of like the high life version of Night City. And then the second season of Night City was like, what if everyone was homeless? And that was the second.
I expect
season.
that's what this is going to be like. Yeah.
Because I was like, well, I don't want anyone to be corpse anymore because they have too much money. And
that's true. I did have a lot of money, and I used it constantly to do bad things.
Yeah.
So this game will be the spiritual successor of season 1 of Die Party Night City. Dante Fierro, a much reviled and hated character of mine, will be reappearing. Our team here will be playing a media team whose job it is to blackmail all of Dante Fierro's enemies for him. Maybe set up some false flags. I know Spooty's playing a dude who kills people for a living, so yeah, I think false flagging might be in his wheelhouse. I don't want to paint a box around you, but the color palette you've chosen to paint with, murder is several of the colors.
It's like a dark shade of red.
Okay, all right, like maroon or like rouge.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm following. There are faces here without names that you might not know. Allow me to introduce each of us in person. We are going to go counterclockwise. To my... over this way. I'm going to say left, even though I'm pointing over my right shoulder. But to my left, Glimo. Cthulhu, Twitch streamer, Sunday nights. Glimo, what do you got? What do you got for me?
I'm Glimo. As Arthur said, I do a lot of horror RPG streaming, and I played 2020 back in the 90s when it came out. I'm a big William Gibson nut. I've got crazy versions of Neuromancer, like this Eastman Press leather-bound one.
We're all on the Snow Crash, right?
Anyway, I'm a really big William Gibson fan.
Wow.
I'm sorry, that guy can't write an ending, and that just really bugs me. The story.
I'll buy that.
You know, the stories are going great, and then they just stop. And I couldn't ever.
Well, listen, as far as endings go, the head of a mafia doing an ollie on a skateboard while knifing a man to death is pretty good.
That is how that ended. Oh my god. Yeah, I just remembered that. Jesus fuck.
It's only one of the endings, but it is a good ending.
Didn't the like robot dog thing also like blast itself into a plane?
Yeah, it moved at hyper-nuclear speed because it had a nuclear power generator on the back of it.
God damn that book. I gotta read
I got some of Bruce's stuff too.
Mirror shades. Okay, some people like that. Yeah.
You know, I guess because Matrix here too. But anyway, yeah, that's me. Super excited to be playing because I haven't played this game since college, probably.
Last week. You haven't played it since last week.
Well, yeah, but you know, I have not gone through character creation in like over 20 years, so it's gonna be interesting.
Character creation's the best bit.
Yeah, listen, character creation is very important in this game. I had these guys play pre-gens last week, and like half the game was missing because of it. Now let me see if I can get this right because my camera is reversed. In my lower right, no, well, okay, well it's down here, but I'm having trouble moving my arms in that direction. The man of murder, Spootnik. He's not a man of the internet. Someone occasionally steals his internet accounts and advertises for shoescapes.
That's right.
That's probably the most cyberpunk out of all of us.
That's true.
I used to have a few thousand views on my Twitch channel. I was trying to get a Twitch channel going, and it was actually starting to pick up. I was close to being an affiliate, and someone from Cambodia said, "No, fuck you," and stole my channel, and then Twitch wouldn't help me get it back. So I kind of gave up on that, which was annoying because it took a lot of fucking time and work just to get to that point. And I was like, I don't have it in me again. I'll just do this on other people's channels.
So, speaking of which, people around here might know you from New Game Plus as Finley Longbottom.
Mm-hmm.
I understand there's another very famous character you've played on Dave's channel.
Yeah, the most well-known character I think that I've ever played would be Gags, and I cannot remember his last name. He was a gnome and had like 17 fucking names, and I had to have him written down in front of me every time we played because eventually one of the assholes I was playing with, either Dave or Sheepdog, would be like, "What's your full name again?" And I have to like spit it out like that.
Percival Frederick de Musseldorf.
It was ridiculous. It was.
I mean, look, dude, if you're gonna make a multifaceted, multi-stage, multi-language name, I'm gonna make you use it.
Yeah.
My character's name was fucking what was it? It was
Was it the Gordon Ramsay pun?
Gorgong Ramsay.
Yeah.
That was painful to hear.
Exactly. And then, well, I mean, he was Gags the Immortal. Gags
the Immortal. But yeah, no, I've actually been doing, I was on the very first ever Die Party episode or show that Dave did.
Oh my God. What was that guy's name? Duck? Was it
Duck? Yeah, Duck the DM. Yeah, it was Demon Hunt or something. What was it? No, it wasn't Demon Hunt. Was that it?
No, it was Demon Hunt. Yeah. Mm-hmm. God damn.
But yeah, so I've been doing this a while. Had to take a break just because of work stuff a few years back, but then Dave brought me back in and introduced me to these fine people that I'm now playing with on Arthur's channel. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've never played Cyberpunk 2020.
Except for last week.
Well, yeah, except for last week. But the people watching now haven't seen that yet, unless they're
some of the Patreon viewers might have, but it's Patreon exclusive.
I have played Shadowrun, which is similar-ish.
That's like 2020, but with magic and elves.
Right.
Shitty elves.
Right.
It's like if D&D like went to the future, basically.
Yeah.
What if a dragon became president?
You can kind of have elves in this. I mean, there's plastic surgery that you can,
but they're not really elves.
And
yeah, but
you don't get any magic or any stats out of it. But you can.
That's like saying you can become a clown. You know, you can be a clown in this too.
Well, yeah, and
you can become the whole circus. You know. Listen, we don't talk about the bozos. No, we don't talk about the bozos. That's a Night City gang. They don't operate around here. We have our
in Redline, we just have the hoses. That's what we have instead.
Redline, we have our own local gangs, which we'll get to.
Awesome.
After Spootnik, we've got this guy down here, Drumurboy, Canadian beard grower, a man who's on YouTube, Spotify, Twitter, Bandcamp, SoundCloud, a maker of music. What do you got for me?
Things.
Yeah.
Just music stuff. played Cyberpunk Red with Dave for that.
Oh yeah, heck yeah.
I don't remember did we make characters on
No, they were
stream?
pre-gens.
They were pre-gens.
They
Okay.
were pre-gens. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the first time I'm ever gonna make a Cyberpunk character.
Oh,
Loosely
I'm so
basing
proud of everyone. This is gonna be
loosely
so
basing
cool.
him off the emergency hologram from Star Trek Voyager. So it's gonna be a doctor with a lot of hair. Just
Medtechy. That's what we call
Yeah.
them around here.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to choose between being a real doctor and then a cybertech doctor. So good luck.
Right. Yeah, but I've read the Neuromancers. I've read the Snow Crashes. I've had, what is it, Burning Chrome.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's been on like my to read list for freaking ever.
The short story book.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I assume you watch Mirror Shades on roleplay, so
I did.
I know.
Although that was
I also
less,
watched it.
that was less cyberpunk than
They lived in a small apartment room filled with ammo crates. That's about as cyberpunk as you can get.
I mean, it's true, but it
They
turned
made
into
their
a dating-
bed out of ammo crates.
and then it turned into a dating simulator, kind of slice of life anime. But
That
you know,
is also pretty cyberpunk.
I guess so. Well, like, oh man, I was talking about this in a stream I was in earlier, but like the K-pop stands on Twitter is maybe
Yes.
the most cyberpunk thing
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah,
They're
they've
more
been
cyberpunk
weaponized. They are
They're
collective.
more cyberpunk than Cyberpunk 2077 can never hope to be. Like,
What do you think my character's based on?
They're
It's
going to delay the release.
Literally,
They're going
That's
to
all-
delay the release of 2077 so they can put K-pop stands into it.
dude, they better.
Please don't. Don't give them any ideas either.
Why
Just
do you
stop.
think they delayed it? Because there's a global pandemic.
Well, sorry,
They
the
gotta write the
Illuminati
standards
got
in.
in your way there, bud.
But other than like that, in real life, I'm a musician. Right for places like Roll20 Presents on D&D, Roleplay until that's over. I've got like 2 more Star Trek or Star Wars, one of the stars, deep into the orchestral world right now. And then after that, who knows? Also working with Nerd or Die, which is like a streamer asset store.
Yes, it
doing
is.
sound design for them.
You turned me on to Nerd or Die, and now I buy everything they make. So
Yeah, I think you're even using like the synthwave packages for this show, aren't you?
I'm not clear whether I'm going to use it or yet, but the interface package is what I use for the screen wipe. 'Cause that looks
Nice.
really good. It's got the Matrix style code going down.
They also have like 2 new ones. One of them they've already showed a little bit to like affiliate people, but it's also cyber themed because Cyberpunk is coming up.
Good. We'll keep buying them. You know, I might
Yeah.
not use everything out of every one, but I'll get.
But they're like 20 or 30 bucks, so it's worth the investment just to
That's
have
what
it there.
Patreon dollars are for. Absolutely. Welcome to the Fungin. Thank you, Glimo.
Hey,
Stop messing around with the green screen.
Sorry, I was getting someone saying Glimo is real.
Yes.
I was going to wear that. I was going to wear that shirt.
You're gonna wear your
Dude,
Fungin shirt.
that shirt, I had me laughing for a good like 10 minutes.
We're still doing intros. I'll be back.
Okay. Great.
Dude, yes.
No, just do it right there, honey. Come on.
Bra-
Please no, we
Like he's
can't
got-
show him changing on stream. There's already several lawsuits out about that today.
It's like, oh yeah, it's like the gif of like the person taking off the multiple sunglasses. He just like has multiple Mimi shirts underneath.
Let's see.
Yeah, but that's basically all I got right now. More in the future after the whole Star Wars thing is over.
Okay. No, it's this way. Sorry, I got it messed up. No.
You'd be a terrible weather person.
Yeah, listen, ever since I reversed my camera, it's been really tough. I don't know whether I want to unreverse it. Wait, why are you trying to get me banned? Stop, Glimo, don't get me.
I'm not trying to get you banned.
All right.
Other people are suggesting things to put on the green screen.
Oh, down over here, Dave. Some call him Henley. I call him Henley. Look at this welcome to the Fungin shirt this man is rocking.
Nice.
You gotta get up a little bit more. Gotta pull yourself up. There we go. Welcome to the Fungin. Listen, we made the meme into a reality. Speaking of real memes, Dave, Henley, Hensicle, the chicken
up?
who is a man.
What up? How you doing? Yeah, as Arthur said, I'm Dave. I used to be full-time streamer, but now I'm I'm back doing my lifelong career of making video games. I make normal games and I make adult games, and they're two separated parts of my life, but they're slowly becoming the same thing. You can go look at all that shit if you want. At Kinky Fridays, if you want to see the adult stuff. At No Gravity Games, if you want to see the not safe for work, the safe for work stuff.
Let's just be very clear here. Kinky Fridays is definitely the not safe for work stuff. No
Yes,
Gravity Games is the
100%.
safe for work.
Now, which
That's
company
right,
is the Olympic Village simulator going
Nope.
to?
Just listen, that meme died
Both of them.
with the show.
Both of them.
No, there's gonna
Yeah.
be more. There's gonna be more video game.
The Olympics don't exist anymore, man. Come on now.
They're coming out next year, for some reason.
I mean, that
But,
reason is the global pandemic, but yeah, sure.
Yeah. So it's a very interesting time because, as Arthur said, I've lived and breathed Night City. Not Night City. Cyberpunk 2020 for like almost 4 years. If there's anyone who I actually was contacted by the designers of the game a long time ago, and they were like, "Hey, man, congratulations on being the longest running Cyberpunk game on the entire internet." And I was like, "What?" And they're like, "Yeah, you're the one that has the most recorded game time, screen time of anyone on the entire internet."
Damn, man.
And I'm like, "Holy shit!" So they actually took some of this is why I think Dante might show up in Cyberpunk 2077, because they actually showed Night City Season 1 to the main character designers and stuff like that for Cyberpunk 2077. So if there's going to be any sort of like corp in the background that throws people off buildings or anything like that in Cyberpunk, it's probably because of Night City. That's how prolific that fucking season was.
I just want them to talk to me about it. Listen, I can give them plenty of good lines. All right? Great. He's going to be old as fuck in 2077, so...
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's a real humbling experience when you do enough stuff that people the developers and designers of the actual game recognize you as good shit. Right. And the other thing they told me was that a lot of people who play this game, they shy away from the real hardcore nature of the game. But the way that we played it, and I don't know if Arthur's going to do the same, but the way we played it, it was full on, all the time, craziness. So, that's why I'm super excited to jump back in. I've never played this game as a player. I'm so excited. Super excited. And fucking character creation is literally whenever I think about Cyberpunk, I'm the character creator, I will take that, steal it, put it into other games. It is that fucking good.
Yeah, the module system is very popular. I mean, before and after Cyberpunk 2020, plenty of other games have gone on to use it. The person I know the least well is the one we've saved for last. Some have said save the best for last.
Aw,
Is where we're going to.
that's so sweet.
All right, but now I have to remember which direction to point in. And I think it's this way. Oh, it worked. I did it.
Yeah.
Refashionista, welcome. I
Hi,
think
no.
if people were tracking movement, they might have noticed Spootnik appear behind you and then reappear in his chair. I understand you might have some relationship with him.
Oh, hey, Spoon.
Yes.
I see you over there.
No,
in my
Dave, don't
hallway.
do that.
Yes, Spootnik is my husband. My name is Jillian, aka Refashionista. I have a blog where I take old thrift store clothes, cut them up, and turn them into better, cooler clothes. Some people might know me from that. Aside from that, I'm also a digital marketing strategist. I have never played this game before. Really, really, really excited to do it. I've played a couple of pickup D&D games. That's about as extensive as my experience is in RPGs, other than just text-based RPGs on bulletin board services in the late 90s.
Well, you're about to play a lot of text-based, non-bulletin board non-late night, more like early 2020s. Okay. What? Sorry, I didn't catch the name of your blog. Just in case people wanted to look up more information about it, or maybe get some fashion tips from someone
Sure.
whose character name sounds like they could be teaching me fashion. What was the name of it again?
It's Refashionista. It's at refashionista.net.
Okay, all right. There we go. That's called selling out, and I'm really good at doing it. It might
So,
be.
you're buying in, yeah.
Cool, excellent. It's my only marketable skill, I've been told. What is Cyberpunk? Cyberpunk is low life, high tech. It's the future of technology that could save us all if we could just live 10 more minutes for it to happen. In the words of Mike Pondsmith, the man who wrote Cyberpunk 2020, Cyberpunk is a warning, not an aspiration. So what is Cyberpunk 2020? It's a game about style over substance. It's a game where everyone is homeless and lives with all of their belongings on their back, where a fancy sports car is more important than a house, and a sleeping bag will get you farther than an SMG, although you'll probably need both. Attitude is everything. Identity is how people identify you. Whether it's your race or your ethnicity, your social groups, your economic class, or maybe just what cyberware you have, everyone is going to be taking a look at you and judging you based on some or all of your parts. Cyberpunk 2020 is a game about urban environments, paranoia, and immersion into a world of darkness. It's a game about playing fast and playing hard. Now, just as a final reminder, we do have a character artist set to make quick character art, so I just want everyone to keep in mind, come up with the style of your character as we build it. You don't need to have a full thing, just a few words by the end of the night that we can pass along to him. The one thing he asks is, what is the one special thing that sets you out apart from everyone else in the cyber world? So, Cyberpunk 2020 character creation starts in our PDFs. I don't know if any of us have the actual book, although for some reason I feel like Spootnik might. Yeah, there it is. He's got. Okay, all right. Listen, my copy has long since been lost to moving 12 times, but we still have Drive-Thru-RPG, which will get us just far enough for the rest of us. Page 28 of your PDF is going to start the chapter Getting Cyberpunk. We're using fast character creation rules, so everyone is going to roll 9 d10s. And then re-roll any 2s or less.
Wait, page 28 of the PDF.
Yes,
Okay,
it's page
so
25
that's
of the actual
25
book.
Of the book.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so we're rolling 9 d10s. is that what you
Grimdark
said?
James has 3 copies of the main book. That's a man who's got 1 to teach, 1 to preach, and 1 to vault. Oh, wow. Holy cow, Glimo. You rolled amazing. You have 3 re-rolls in there. And those re-rolls came out pretty good too. Wow.
The 10s and the 9s were great, but the 2 1s and the 2.
I mean, the thing about the 1s and the 2s is you get to re-roll them, and there's a pretty good chance you're going to get bet. Wow. Spootnik pulling out big numbers, huge numbers, really. All right.
Yeah, I did okay. I got a couple of 9s and 10s in there. That's not so bad.
All right. So each of you should have a character sheet on.
Oh, wait, so do I re-roll the 10s?
No, you re-roll any 1 or 2s. So you need to re-roll 1 1.
Oh, I see. Okay,
All
there we
right,
go.
Jillian, you get 2 re-rolls. Those aren't some bad numbers, but those re-rolls could really boost you.
Okay, so am I doing the exact same thing again?
No, just 2
or-
d10.
Just
2d10. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yep, those were excellent re-rolls.
Wow.
Those re-rolls really
Here.
that's a 10 and a 9 there. Yeah, those are big.
Yeah.
All right, so each of you has your character sheets. You get to distribute the numbers as you would, with one exception. Your character sheets, you should be able to lock them to your class choice, which we'll explain to all the viewers in just a moment. The highest number you'll be able to put in your main class skill. Oh, sorry, that's for skills. We'll get around to that later.
Get to that.
Yeah, my bad. I forgot about that. All right. So for a lot of you, I'm seeing a lot of 10s here. So invest, enjoy. Let the tannins of that 10 breathe before,
It's a wine joke.
It is a wine joke.
So in case you're wondering what the stats actually mean, so reflex represents anything that requires shooting, moving, etc. It also sort of represents how strong you are, because in melee combat you also use reflex to hit things. Cool represents how well you perform under stressful situations, including being shot at. So if you want to be like sort of always in control, cool is a good stat to have. Luck is pretty much your reroll counter. It doesn't really affect anything other than like every session you have X amount of additional. Is it additional points or is
no,
it
it doesn't let you
die?
re-roll. You invest luck into a roll before you roll. So you say, I'm going to use 3 points of luck to give myself a +3.
Yeah, sorry, I was getting my old stuff mixed up. Int represents your intelligence, how smart you are. This also helps with skills like tech skills, helps with knowledge skills. Oh no, it helps with knowledge skills, not tech skills.
Well, your skill, the amount of secondary skills you get is your int and your reflex, I think.
Yeah, it is.
It's big.
It's a big one. So body represents how physically fit you are as well. This also rolls into your BTM score. So think of it as like your defense more than anything. MA is your movement allowance, how far you can move in a 6-second interval. It also represents how much you can jump, how much you can climb, how much, all that sort of stuff. Tech refers to how technologically advanced and how much understanding you have of the tech. So if you're like, I think the surgery skills are tech, I want to say. I'll have to double check that. But tech also represents like your ability to drive, your ability to pilot things, your ability to use computers, that sort of stuff. ATTR refers to your attractiveness. So this is sort of a big stat if you want people to sort of socially accept you. There's not a lot of skills that are connected to it, but in terms of how people look at you and receive you, attractiveness definitely helps. This can be augmented by like the type of clothing you wear as well. So just think of it like that. And empathy, which is I consider to be the most important skill out of everything. This represents how much charisma you have, but also it is the gate to how much cyberware you can have in your body.
But is that a good thing to maybe put a 10 in?
If you want to have a lot
for
of
a solo
cyberware,
like
then
you, yes, but also you
Yeah.
probably are going to want to have a 10 in reflex.
Right, I put 110 in reflex. I figured the other one I was going to put into empathy.
That's a pretty good solid choice.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid choice. So the three skills that I consider to be the most important skills in this game is empathy, body, and reflex.
Yeah.
Those are the top three that I would consider.
I would consider the top three reflex, movement allowance, and the third one doesn't matter because if you can't move, you will get shot.
MA is movement allowance. Yeah.
Yes, weirdly, it is a stat, and it turns out when you're in a gunfight, it's a fairly important one.
Yeah.
So, Jillian, if you don't know, on your character sheet, if you check the box above the stats that are all at 0, it opens up how to change the numbers. I just figured that out. Okay.
Yep, I'm in there.
All right, good.
So I have a question.
Smarter than me.
So I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have like 9 numbers here, but obviously more slots to numbers. So some of these are just going to stay at 0.
Well, they'll automatically fill in. So it's the top. If you look at the 3 columns, the first 3 rows are the ones that you're filling in.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Your run, everything past run will auto calculate.
Okay.
So as far
Yeah,
as like,
basically everything not bold. Yeah.
is it like,
Okay.
is this similar to D&D at all? That like the number you have adds on to something, or?
Yes.
Yes.
So
So-
your skill will roll based on that.
So it goes when you roll a skill, let's say you roll I don't know, like Medtech, right? It would be
Attribute,
Tech
skill,
plus
1d10.
skill and then a 1d10. Yeah. So-
And is it always plus something, or is there like a middle line that you do go below? Because like,
no, it's
No, it's always plus
ten.
something. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So the difficulty sets that you need to pass in this is 10 is the easiest, and then it goes up in intervals of 5 after that, all the way up to 30 being like the hardest difficulty check to pass.
Okay.
And if you roll a 10, you roll another d10, and if you roll a 1, you fumble like pretty much straight away. So
Okay.
it's kind of brutal in that regard.
Yeah, no
So-
one fumbled during the test game.
Yeah,
so
I was
We
actually
rolled
very surprised.
extremely well.
you
During
did
that
roll
game.
extremely well, so I can't wait for someone's gun to explode in their face. It's gonna be good times. Listen, folks at home, I want to be really clear. You get attached to these 5 characters and enjoy them while you can, because chances are by the end of the show, one or more of them will have died and been replaced.
I'm gonna look up real quick.
This combat the combat was written in the late 90s by looking at FBI crime statistics of how gunfights work, and so the optimal gunfight range is 6 feet away from another person. And you can die from being shot in the foot by a small caliber bullet just from having shock and bleeding out until you die. On the other hand,
that's
someone
great.
like Spootnik is probably going to be able to take several large caliber assault rifle rounds.
I hope.
So my meta goal of this game will be to go through the entire cast of Star Trek Voyager. What's that? 6 or 7 main characters?
Yeah. I mean, listen, I want that Tom Paris character.
Dude, he would
the
be
pilot. Yeah.
He would be probably, what are the ones that roam around?
A nomad. Yeah.
He'd be a nomad for sure.
Or he could be a ambulance pilot.
It's true.
That's very popular.
Tuvok would be a corp.
So just to mention, I have a 2077 show ready to go. Glimo will also be on that one. Dave will probably also be on that one. Several other people have indicated that they'd like to be on it. That will be about Dante Fierro in 2077, assuming no one on this show accidentally kills him. Running an ambulance corporation.
Accidentally?
Yes.
Well, I mean, he could just do the Palpatine thing and just clone himself.
Listen, Dante is surprisingly tough for being an office worker.
But the Dante Fierro clone will only be revealed in the concept art book.
That's true.
'Cause,
Yeah.
there wasn't room for it in the movie.
The thing about Dante is he always wears the metal gear, so he walks around looking like Master Chief 100% of the time. That's pretty good at absorbing bullets, long enough for him to shoot back with a rocket launcher.
Mm-hmm. And if you have enough money, that thing never runs out of the ability to absorb bullets.
That's
so,
true.
You know.
Has everyone placed their stats?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Not yet. So
Okay.
like for me, I don't have any 10s. I'm pretty like, I didn't roll.
Oh, our medic doesn't have any 10s?
No.
Yeah.
That's not good.
So I'm assuming
He needed a dime that was top of the line, and it didn't happen.
if tech is the
Whole song about this.
if tech is the medical role, then I'll put my highest in there.
So let me say. So tech is first aid. Is first aid, but basically, the one that you'll get, Medtech, like your Medtech skill.
Yeah.
I believe is a tech skill.
Yeah, I think you're looking at tech. Tech is basic tech, first aid. Where's medicine?
Medicine is
Wow.
I believe an int skill.
Yeah, so you're gonna want to invest in int and tech.
Okay.
Also, int is just good to have as like diagnose illness, for example, is int. So you know stuff like that. As a as a med tech, you will get.
So I've got 9 in tech, 9 in tech, 8 in int, 8 in empathy. I've got a 7, a whole bunch of 4s, and a 3 to put
Okay.
out.
I
That's
would
well.
probably like you're probably going to need a lot of pickup skills. So maybe invest in reflex as well. Because so the way that your skills work in this is like you'll have career skills, which is the stuff that we'll do next. So for example, for a Medtech, you'll get awareness, notice, basic tech, diagnose, education, cryotech operation, library search, pharmaceuticals, zoology, and human perception. You'll get a set amount of skills that you can invest into only those skills. And then after that, we'll get a phase called the pickup skills, which is where you combine your reflex and your int to get skills that your character has just picked up over his lifetime that have absolutely nothing to do with his career. So you can't put those pickup skills into your career skills, but you can pick up other things like, say, handgun or athletics or just whatever you want, essentially.
I think I got it. So those are my important ones. Everything else is kind of bad. So I just dumped my 3 into luck and 4 for everything else.
Okay. Yeah, 3 luck isn't too bad. I mean, the thing is, we've never seen anyone use luck. I think Dante relied on it from time to time, but overall, most people forget it ever exists.
Yeah, the way that I did luck was very different, though.
Yes.
Like, it was... Luck for me was like a skill that you rolled to see just how generally lucky you were, rather than like... Because no one used it. No one fucking used it.
I agree.
Like,
I concur that is a thing that happened. All right. So if you've got your stat line finished, Drumurboy?
Yep.
All right. Then Dave said we're going to do secondary skills next, but that was a damn lie. Okay. Hold your horses. That doesn't happen yet. We now jump to page 37 in the PDF, which is also known as 34 for people looking in their book. We live your life. So for the first couple of options, you'll get to pick what your style is, or you can roll for it. This is where we get an idea of who your character is. This is where I hold you over the volcano, to borrow from Firefly. First up is dress and personal style of your clothes, hairstyle, and your affections. So like tattoos or fingerless gloves or weird contact lenses. Next will be your ethnic origin, and then we'll get into family background. So does anyone know what their dress, personal style, ethnic origin, all of that is going to be?
So my guy, because he's a fixer,
yes,
and he's a street fixer, he kind of lives a double life.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you what he is when he's in street persona.
Okay.
Biker leathers, short and spiked hair, and weird contact lenses.
Okay, so this is your persona. So when you say persona, this is what you go to meet with people on deals with, right?
Yes.
All right, so biker leather. What was the other one?
Short and spiked.
Short and spiked hair. And contact lenses.
Weird contact lenses.
Well, I mean, tell me about these contact lenses. This is what I'm most interested about.
So, assuming I roll well on the money side, he's either going to have the...
He won't be, but okay.
Right. He's either going to have the shading changing contact lenses, and he's going to do the mirror shade eyes look quite a lot, especially when he's out in the street. But they can change to whatever.
So can I call this your fixer sona? This is your street deal.
This is my this is when I'm out on the street. But so my guy,
close to first
in my head canon, he specializes in
headcanons are a thing in this game, by the way.
Right, black market cyberware.
Okay.
So he also spends a lot of time dealing with like high-powered execs. And
they don't want you crawling in wearing bike leather.
Mob bosses, yeah. So he also, I'm gonna be putting a bunch of money into.
So this is your suit sona then.
Yep.
All right. What's that look
like? Is corporate suit.
That's good. Niche. They're actually, I've come up with names for some of the corporate suit styles, aesthetics.
Ooh.
I know.
Tell me more.
Well, that depends on how racist you are. Let me look over here. Medtech just released a new style called Citizen's Counselor to compete with Arasaka's new formal black robe style.
Okay.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, Citizen Counselor. If you Google Citizen Counselor, It's white robes, hooded white robes. Just to be very clear, they're bad people.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So basically, it's my BattleTech character.
Yeah. Oh no. Whoa. Word of Blake aren't racist. They're just kind of
No, but it's a hooded white. I mean, not
murdery.
you know. Well, it's monk hood as opposed to.
All right, I'll buy that.
I'm burning a cross hood.
I'll buy that. Yeah. All right, corporate suit. What are you doing for hair? And let me ask, like short spiked hair, how do you switch the hairstyles?
I am going to invest in tech hair.
Oh, tech hair. All right, I'm writing that down. Tech hair. Number 3. What's your affection when you're no contact lenses, but now you've got, or maybe.
Well, I was thinking I would have the contact lenses, but I'll probably do something else weird with them.
Something else weird.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm buying this.
Like maybe weird like animal shaped eyes just to give me this one weird affectation.
Oh, so you're actually gonna get like cosmetically.
So if I got enough money, then I'm gonna do one cyber eye with the implant for the cyber eye that can change the iris.
Perfect. I buy this.
But if I can, I'm gonna do the what do we call them? I've got it on this other tab here. The shift tax.
Okay. Do you have an ethnic origin for yourself?
I was just gonna roll that because it doesn't matter that much to me.
Give me that number.
Okay. Where did my roll 20 window go?
So you'll automatically speak English and your ethnic language.
I am
national
Central
language.
European Soviet.
Wow, you are going to be hated around here. Central European Soviet. So just remember, Redline City, they really hate Europeans. Because the Europeans had a nuclear attack on New York City, and then they hit America with giant rock. So, yeah, interesting. So you speak some form of like Russian or Czech or Polish. You also speak street slang and English. So make sure to write those down somewhere. All right, who's next? What do we got? Who's ready to hit me with something?
I can go next.
All right, Dave, what do you got here? So you're Mash Nathers.
Mash Nathers. Yeah, so we'll start with so basically my idea for Mash Nathers is like, if anyone's seen Hardcore Henry before, it is an action movie that takes place entirely from one person's perspective. So it's very focused on like his hands in front of his face doing cool shit, right? And basically, as a media, his whole thing is, doing recordings, doing reports, that sort of stuff from his perspective. So his hands are pretty much his identity when he does his reports. So his hands have very distinct light weave tattoos on them. Specifically, I'm using the cybernetic called the synth skin, which allows you to essentially change any part of your skin to have any sort of design or whatever on them.
Now, I think synth skin requires you to have like €100 like presets. Like RGB presets for
so it's chipware that you put in.
So, okay. All right, I'm
I'm
following you so far. So that's what your skin looks like. You change your tattoo style on the outside.
Yeah, well, the tattoos would be very bright and vibrant sort of thing, but he also uses them to have like advertising space on his hands and arms.
Yeah, PepsiCo. So I understand.
During his streams and stuff like that, he can get.
Yeah, you have to unlock freemium content. I get it.
Yeah. So that's sort of the focus there. But in terms of like his other
clothes and hair, tell me about that.
So he is like probably like the most loud. I don't know what the other characters are going to be like, but in terms of like
loud
design, loud would be the terminology that I would use. He has his entire head is basically cybernetic. He has both eyes. Well, we'll see. I'll probably have to go into debt to get this design to work.
Good. Yeah, I'm glad. I'd love to offer to give people debt.
Well, it really depends. It really depends what. I mean, my empathy is like where I put my 10 points. So,
yeah.
It really depends how much empathy I have left at the end of this. I could either have 2 empathy or
That would be tough being a media, but yes.
Yeah. So it really depends. But essentially, his entire face is cybernetic. He's got both eyes that are cybernetic up. He's got both his ears are cybernetic up.
So you just don't give a shit. You are super cybernetic up, and it's obvious. Okay.
Yeah. It will go into this a little bit more with his backstory and stuff like that. But my plan was to start off as like one of the more Anglo-Saxon European countries.
Okay.
So
Anglo-American.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, I mean, Anglo-American is America, and then European, would cover like British.
Yeah.
You have a preference there?
Not so much British, but like more like he does what he can to be more American, if that makes sense. Like the reason why is because I want to be tied into the European agency that went into space.
Yeah, the ESA, European Space Agency.
Yeah. Yep. And because myself and Arthur had a chat about this before, but basically one of the major conflicts that Nathers got known for was covering the rebellion that happened in space and on a space station. So in order to do that, I need to be, tied to the ESA.
So do you have a specific sub genre there? I mean, we got like 11 wonderful ethnicities and languages to choose from.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna go with probably like German, I think would be the way to go. But he's tried real fucking hard to drop that accent, mostly because I can't do a German accent.
Okay, I understand. But you still speak perfect German and English.
Yeah, I'm into that. And in terms of like his like design, like like loud pastel color sort of outfits and very sort of modern high chic stuff, I guess would be what he normally wears. I'm also going to put a lot of points into disguise as well, so that I can go undercover as like security or something like that to get into places and whatnot. So there's going to be a lot of like costume changes for this guy.
Perfect.
But, when he's out and about being Nathers, it's mostly just like he wants people to notice him. He wants people to be seen.
Listen, I want a lot of clothing that it's the flip clothing where you flip the direction it's going in and it looks totally different on the other side. That's all I'm asking for. I was thinking about like rip-off clothing is something that he's probably got. Like his clothing has a lot of zippers. Oh, do we mean like police stripper who just showed up as a bachelor party rip-off clothing? Is that Spootnik's like, yeah, that's what I'm into. That's what my character wears.
Yes.
Well, I rip my pants off and I'm wearing booty shorts and start twerking.
They say juicy on the ass.
Yeah, probably something like that. But he's more like his ability to change quickly is important. So clothes that are easy to get out of by ripping them off. Or whatever.
Make sure to take wardrobe and grooming then, and all of the.
Oh yeah, no, I got that for sure.
Okay.
And his hairstyle, as I said earlier, is like a bowl cut. So like bowl on the head, just sort of straight,
writing that down.
Mushroom top. Yeah.
Bowl cut. All right, who's next for me to deeply interrogate about your life? Spootnik, I'm looking at you. I'm singling you out in class. Newton Maxwell, solo.
Yeah.
What's your style, profile?
So I've got old school looking camo pants, right? With like some knee pads on them.
Wow, that's very 80s.
Yep.
Knee pads, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For my shirt, I have like a members only sweater, like a gray color, that makes you remember members only?
Yeah.
Okay. So kind of like that. And probably elbow pads as well, because safety first. I've got kind of like a long and ratty, dirty looking, greasy brown hair. and definitely
That hits close to
fingerless.
home. Yeah.
I mean, that was my style. I'll find some pictures. Yeah, and then I like the idea of the fingerless gloves, so I grabbed those.
Oh,
as well.
perfect.
And then as far as ethnic origins go,
Oh my god, I feel like I can't tell whether you're a solo or a skateboarder at this point.
I went with milk toast, or aka Anglo-American.
Anglo-American, all right.
So I believe the only language I speak is English, right?
You speak English and you also speak street slang.
Okay. Street slang.
Okay.
Like, yeah, dog, what up? I'm down with the sickness.
No, street slang is English, French, German, Japanese. It's like it's like taxilingua.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a mix of words that people on the street like yourself use in order to communicate.
Okay.
No, it's not like, yo, what up, dog? It probably would in our timeline, like street slang would probably consist of like SJW, K-pop stan, lol lol lol, kick, you know, like the horde kick.
Right.
Yeah, that would be our version of street slang.
Gotcha.
Simp would be recently added.
Holy shit!
I love that word. It's insulting,
yeah.
but I just it has a good texture to it.
It feels like a simp came up with that word.
It does, doesn't it?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when I see someone calling someone a simp online, I'm like, that motherfucker is a simp.
I don't know. The word amuses me so much more than it should.
It's so stupid.
All right, we got two people here left. Who wants to go first? I'm pointing in the wrong. Nope, that's also wrong. That is correct. There we go. Nope, this is hard.
Anyone? I've got some stuff, but if you want to go, you can go.
Jillian, what do you got for me?
Sure. Okay.
Maxine Martini. I'm curious.
Martini. Okay, so Maxine Martini, her hairstyle is she has short and spiky. What I'm thinking is she has blue hair. I was sort of like half of it is like shaved, half of it is left spiky, right? For her outfit, she is. So, do you guys remember that show from the 90s, Parker Lewis Can't Lose? No one ever. Oh, this is so sad. No one's going to get this reference. Well, it's this weird, like, surreal show, like from the. Yeah, Spootnik does. Thanks, honey, but you're not here. And he has this friend who, like, whenever he's like in a sticky situation, his friend's just like this, like, kind of nerdy guy who's always wearing a trench coat and just like has whatever is needed to get out of that situation, like in his trench coat. Like someone's hungry, he's like, "Oh, I've got some froyo here," and everyone's just like, "Huh? Like, how do you have froyo there?" So she's got like that kind of trench coat, right? Where like she's like somehow she just has the things that are needed whenever they're needed. It's very strange. I also see her wearing sort of like Jinko type pants, like dark Jinko jeans, only like more fitted on the top, with sort of like combat boots, like Doc Marten type boots. For her affectation, I see her as having earrings that she also like doubles usage for by like using them to pick locks and things like that.
Excellent. This character has such an incredible aesthetic. You are also a fixer, much like our other friend Pascal, Jaden. Do you specialize in anything? So my deal with Glimo and my deal with you is your fixer works one of two ways. Either you specialize in a specific good and you run that good for a whole neighborhood, and that's how people know you. When they don't move anything in your territory without your permission, people will come to you and offer you special deals for that good. Or you run a block of everything. Guns,
she runs
drugs.
A block of everything.
You run the block. Okay. So
but
wherever you end up living, you are the
Martini from the block.
You run it. You run that block. And as you become more powerful over time, you'll be able to absorb more territory. So just as a background thing for both of our fixers, I'm going to assume that your characters accumulate debts and power in the background. It will come up from time to time where someone's like, help, I shot a police officer and I have a hot gun and I need to get rid of it. Help me. But most of the time, you'll just say, I know somebody that owes me a favor. And I'll say, well, yeah, that's what you do in the background. You're always on your cell phone arranging things. Probably Maxine Martini is going to have a lot of people who come to her saying, help me, I just did something really bad. Help me get rid of the body or the weapon. Since that's what you do. You're a fixer. You run a block. What ethnic origin can we attach to Maxine Martini?
I am just going to go with Anglo-American.
Anglo-American. I was going to say, from my point of view, Kardashian, but that's not an option in this game. So. All right, you speak English and street slang. Coltan Bonez, Medtech.
Yes.
What do you got for me?
All right. So I don't know if you want to put up the picture, but hairstyle, obviously wild and all over.
Yeah, you got that Robert Picardo when he had an afro look.
Young Robert.
Young Robert.
And then he's pretty young, so probably like nose rings.
Nose rings.
Like just facial adornment and clothes. Okay. I was thinking like when you said skater, you said like skater aesthetic. Yeah. I was like kind of like that, kind of like frayed
acid
denim,
wash jeans.
Frayed denim vest.
Let me ask, did you fray the denim yourself or did you buy them that way?
Time did it.
Time did it. Okay, so frayed. These are like legitimately frayed jeans.
Yeah.
Those are the
Canadian
best.
tuxedo.
What?
Canadian
I've never
tuxedo.
heard of that.
Yeah.
What?
Dude, I've literally never heard of that before.
Denim jacket, denim shirt, denim pants.
Yeah.
That's called the Canadian tuxedo?
Yes.
Yeah,
wow.
It is.
I don't know.
Just think of
Kevin Federline, apparently, but okay.
Just think of Wolverine in the first X-Men movie.
I try not to. I try to think of Wolverine in the last Wolverine movie, and that's the best one.
Yeah, but I think...
Yes, Logan. Well, technically, you could also take the Deadpool movie where he travels back in time and kills Wolverine and himself.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Deadpool.
Logan was good.
Logan was good for a Wolverine-based movie.
But like, as far as like the Canadian tuxedo, Wolverine in the first X-Men movie, basically.
Okay, all right, got it, young skater. No, wait, I could do this. Avril Lavigne's Canadian, right? You're a skater boy. No, it's too late. Took too long to get there. All right, skater boy.
Have you ever heard that theory that Avril Lavigne died and was replaced with a body double?
No, but that's terrifying and will probably haunt my dreams tonight.
It is a crazy fucking internet conspiracy, and it's hysterical. Just look it up sometime.
That's nuts.
So it's the fake Paul theory, but for Avril Lavigne.
Yes. It's literally Paul is dead, but with the girl that sang Skater Boy.
And the person who cloned or like remade Avril Lavigne was the lead singer from Nickelback, and then they married them.
Yeah. Wait, it came out. I think the theory came out when she made that Hello Kitty song, and people were like, "This is not fucking Avril Lavigne." Because it was just so different.
It's the music industry, man. It's just like, you need to change your image. All right, let's do something stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that has happened to Rihanna at least 3 times. So,
yeah.
Let me ask: ethnic origin? Robert Picardo is Italian.
Yeah, but Coltan Bonez, he's got like the thing over the E, so I'm thinking Hispanic American.
Okay, Hispanic American.
Which is like his name is technically like pronounced like Bonez or something like. Slightly different, but everyone just calls him Bones.
So do you speak Spanish or English primarily?
Probably Spanish with family, English with most everyone else.
Okay, so you speak them both. All right, and you also speak street slang.
Yeah.
All right, we got there. Now is this time where all of you are going to spend a bunch of time rolling dice and you will report to me at the end the results. So be prepared to do a lot of self-study. This is family background. You're going to be rolling a lot of d10s. It's on page 38/35 for people who have the actual book.
Oh, you're not doing it one at a time? Come on.
No, we're going to do it all
man.
together, and we're going to report back once you've got all of it, because this is the next few pages are going to take a while.
Gotcha.
So you'll just keep going, because it'll tell you to go to motivations at some point, and just note that some of these will say you can choose them, others will say you must roll. So consider that before you roll or don't roll. If any of you have interesting options that happen to you and you want to share out loud, please feel free to do so. For the audience, I'm going to tell you about Redline City while everybody else is rolling. Hopefully I don't distract them too much.
Can you detail what arcology family means?
A arcology family is an arcology is like a massive self-contained corporate building. So it would be like if everyone in Microsoft lived in a 100-story tower in the middle of New York City. And everything that they needed, it's like the Foxconn plant in China, but if the Foxconn plant was vertical rather than you live in a compound, you never leave.
Gated community.
Gated community, but you work for the man.
I was gonna say, so it's Google from 2003.
Yes. Sure. Arcologies were in SimCity 2000, I think. They were like a super compound that you could build, and once you did it, but it's a mining town, but Elon Musk designed
Arcology
it.
City.
That is really good. You got Arcologies? Perfect. Yep. So, for our folks at home, let me tell you about Redline City. You want to hear a story? First, there was the Red Line, a train carrying passengers up and down the New Jersey coast to and from New York City and Washington. A city sprung up at the intersection of the Red Line stop in a deep water cargo port. Its name doesn't matter anymore. Everyone calls it Redline City. Founded during the darkest hours of the United States in the aftermath of the European-backed nuclear attack on New York, and built during the Aerospace Agency's rock drop on Colorado Springs, the megacity is a mix of corporate, state, and national interests that led to an ostracization of all things European. There are 5 parts to Redline City: the docks, Old Red Line, Upper Red Line, the burbs, and the roads. Old Red Line is the original city. 60% of the population lives here in abject poverty. The cops don't answer calls. Buildings and utilities aren't maintained without a solo team for protection. Robbery and murder happens on every block, every night, and still hundreds more flock to a city for a chance to live so close to New Red Line, for a chance to make it. Some here have given up and turned to drugs and crime, but many neighborhoods have formed self-defense families that now rule the Undercity. Darkness reigns at all times, as a massive plate 800 feet overhead holds up New Red Line. There's a constant rain of sewage and moisture drizzling down, and sickness abounds in its wake. The fortunate among these citizens may be swept up by corporate aggro teams looking for field hands, or the less fortunate for cyber modification to fight in covert wars or chemical testing. The roads are your first look around the rest of Redline City. A massive 12-lane superhighway that goes under New Red Line and through Old Red Line, following the train. The highway splits around the city and runs up to the New Red Line plate. Light commuter rail from the burbs passes alongside it, and they are conspicuously left alone from any crime. From dusk till dawn, nomads rule the roads, as each family shepherds in a Megacorp's trucking fleet, or attacks a fleet on behalf of their corporate sponsor. The docks are technically part of Old Red Line, but it's a different beast entirely. Start trouble there and you'll end up dead in 6 ways. The state of New Jersey maintains a line of barely stable cyber psychos with permission to kill anyone what doesn't belong here. Megacorporations launch daily covert or less than covert raids up and down the port, disrupting shipping and stealing what they can. Gunfire is a near constant, and the only question is which part of the miles-long stretch of ships is currently hot. The burbs are where the average corporate worker finds themselves. Outside New or Old Red Line, they encompass the city surrounding it. Everything there is enforced normality in keeping with the code of the owning Megacorp. Start trouble here, and you might not be dealt with immediately, but you will be marked for eventual termination. Everything one needs to buy from their local Megacorp is provided company store style. New Redline is where the corpse work and play. Living here takes an arm and a leg and several thousand Eurobucks more. Rising from a massive plate set above Old Redline, glistening corporate acropolis, towering office buildings, militia compounds, and the state police roam enforcing perfect order and ordinariness. The very few who can afford to live here enjoy the pinnacle of technology and security. Now, if you're some sort of sucker from Night City, you aren't hardly prepared for Redline. 5 million people in a perfectly controlled corporate environment can't compete with 20 million souls packed together, squashed between a constant battle between local government and corporate interests. Cops are a mix of state police and corporate structure, and their gunfights are legendary. Jurisdictions overlap, corporate raiding between megacorps become literal, and towers in Redline City might collapse overnight. You won't hear about it on the news, of course, but it's all still happening. So make sure you have a backpack, a bedroll, and a gun, because you'll need all of these at a minimal to sleep through the night. Good luck. Alright, that's a lot of talking. Does anybody need help? Because I saw Spootnik running around.
No, Julian was wondering like where on the character sheet to write all this down, and I said I'm putting this on a separate sheet.
Yeah, there's a notes section.
Sheet. Yeah, I saw the notes section, but just for ease and speed, I was just gonna transfer stuff, copy and paste.
So for those,
I'm probably gonna tweak things a little bit too.
Yep,
Yeah.
I'm set.
Yep, because I'll be asking you guys to recount some of these. So just for anyone that hasn't found it, on the character sheet in the upper middle, there's like a bio, life pass, all that stuff.
So we absolutely have to roll for siblings, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get to be an only child. Sorry.
There is a possibility of not having siblings.
Yeah.
So are these life events part of the rules that we're doing now? Because I'm just writing them down on paper.
Yep. They're very important because they may boost or remove skills from you, give or take money from you. You might learn martial arts.
Does the age matter here just yet?
Yes.
The age will matter because
Yes.
that's how many life events you go through.
Wait, we
So
pick our age, or
you do a life event for every year that you're alive, and you roll 2d6 plus 16 for your age.
So you can pick any age
see.
between 16 and 28, or you can roll 2d6 plus 16 to figure out how old you are.
Okay.
But you must roll to see what happens in each year of your life.
I'm still on siblings. I'm siblings.
Yay, I'm an only
I just
child.
finished
That's where I am.
siblings.
Wow.
I had 5.
I had
Perfect.
6 siblings.
The thing about siblings is they make great hostages
Odds.
or villains.
Well, I mean,
So, 3
my entire
brothers.
family is imprisoned anyway, so whatever.
Wow. What did they do? Australia?
No,
Cheap
they were,
Australia joke.
They were whatever it is.
Oh,
the
they're all part of the
archaeology
archaeology?
family. Yeah.
Well, they're not in
Um,
prison. They just can't leave.
Only I escaped.
Wow, these are all going really well together.
I agree that mobile homes do not, in fact, enjoy any protection from rocket launchers. Eric, we're not going anime. Don't do that. This isn't an anime show, and I'm not. That's weird. So,
All right, so I'm gonna fill out the first page. This might take a second.
sure. We have time. We set aside a whole night to do this.
Yes, I have a pet.
I am
wow.
21 years old.
You have a pet?
I'm surprised.
I have a
I'm
pet.
surprised you don't want to do this. All of
I
that,
also
'cause
have a pet. Go fix her pets.
Yay!
What type of pets are we talking about?
Here's a spin-off. I love it.
Oh, we do the spin-off where each of you has a pet, and then at like Halloween we play the pets, going on a
Yeah.
mission to save your characters.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to this.
Now, do you skip over things if it tells you to go somewhere else?
Yeah.
For what, for instance?
So, for instance, I got something to happen to both parents,
Yeah.
Do I say that and then what happened, or is it just like skip that?
If it says something happened to both parents, it's under family tragedy, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, over here. Something happened to your parents. Yes, then you go to family status. It says at the bottom, after after 10, it says go to family status.
Yeah, what I'm asking is like, I have pirate fleet.
Wow.
Something happened to one or both of my parents. I didn't write that down. I just went to what happened to them.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, yeah,
Okay.
both.
Yeah,
it's
all we
only,
need to
like,
know is the
they're
end
mixed
result.
together.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Pirate fleet, huh? Go ahead and write that down. Listen, I'm gonna get everything from everybody, but didn't you have pirate? No, it's the other Patreon group also had a tech that was a pirate fleeter, so this is a very popular option. I gotta say, I'm invested in these pets. I don't know what they are or what their names are, but I want to know about them.
Where did you get a pet? Oh, person you value most.
Yeah.
I just
Sorry you don't have a pet.
Well, I haven't rolled yet, so I might.
He's gonna get a turtle named Seamus, and he
Oh
mounts
my God,
the turtle
how did you know?
in his cyber arm, and he deploys the turtle whenever he needs comfort.
Oh my god!
Seamus is a
I'm
little
literally
environment inside the arm with like water and some nice things to chomp on, like a Zen rock.
So his.
Holy shit! I got a pet. That's 6 I rolled as a pet.
Everyone wants these gosh darn pets.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Here's literally verbatim what I rolled. Personality, silly and fluff-headed. Person you value most, yourself. What do you value most? Having a good time. Like,
Nice.
just straight up, like, yeah, this is the media.
Mine is very strange. Like I'm like, let's see here.
How do you feel about most people? People are
Well,
wonderful.
I'm friendly and outgoing, but apparently I want to feed people to the cockroaches. And I value vengeance.
Nice.
It sounds like you might be a little sociopathic then. Maybe some of that, what do they call it? Narcissistic personality
Yes,
disorder? Yeah.
sounds like it. Okay, so I am.
Right, so personality traits and stuff, is that continuing on life event stuff, or is that
Yes,
somewhere
that's afterwards you go to motivations. And these are all choose or roll, so you don't have to roll if you don't want to.
Motivations.
Yes.
Are we doing the life events together?
Motivations
Or
are on
how do you-
page 36 in the PDF.
Yeah, but where do I put them in the sheet?
Somewhere on the notes section or bio or something like that. I would
There
guess.
is a motivation section on the second button.
Oh, on bio? Yes, there
Yeah.
is. Interesting. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'll copy and paste from my little Word doc that I'm making.
Yeah, that's
I'll
good
make
because
it
I'm just
read
going to
easier.
ask all of you what
Yeah.
everything is so I can write it down and the audience will know. Dave, if you want to go ahead and start running life events, you can if you want to get ahead of us. Just don't
Okay,
worry, we're
I
going to go
mean-
over everything. I don't know if you guys know this, but sometimes people make character art or write short stories. I know the New Game Plus guys are very close to Zonalar because he makes character art and writes short stories about their characters loving each other.
Loving each other very much, like party members often do.
Listen, I don't know what adventuring groups you've been part of, but where I come from, you do
The
not
one that
mix.
Zonalar writes about.
All right, I'll buy that. You don't miss business and adventure. That's bad.
Yeah.
All right, here's my age roll. Let's see how old I am. 22.
Ancientest time. Oh, 22. No, that's not bad.
Oh yeah. Age roll is what? 2d6 plus 16.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22.
You can choose your age, so don't feel like you need to.
25. I'm about to die.
That hurts.
That's,
Well, I mean, a solo that's old is a good solo.
You know
Yeah,
what they
that makes
say?
sense.
There's old solos and bold solos, but there aren't any
Yeah.
old bold solos. And you know what they say about solos? They always shoot first,
that's right.
which is true because
Always.
in this system, you actually almost certainly will shoot first. Yeah, I wrote macros for everybody for how to put yourselves on the initiative order, but we'll wait until everyone's done rolling stuff because I don't want to confuse things. Spootnik, you're gonna have a special one that nobody else gets.
Yay!
Because you add an extra thing to your initiative. You add your combat sense.
Okay. Oh, the next.
Okay.
I've got too many friends and or enemies.
Excellent.
Yeah.
This is what I want to hear. This is perfect. This is fodder.
3 out of my 5 years are friend or enemy.
Good.
So do you want to hear what we rolled? Or...
I will eventually ask for all of that information once you've got it all compiled. If you have a good story that pops up that you're very interested in, hit us with it right now, though.
Well, wait. Do I do life events now?
Yes.
Are we moving on? Okay.
Now that you have your age, you do life events for as many times as you have age past 16. So if you're 25, then you have 9 events.
9. Holy Christ.
You got to do 90/10s.
I'll get back with you in 17 hours.
I understand.
Okay. If that's where you put life events, I put something in the wrong spot.
That's fine.
Where do you put life path stuff then?
I think there's an actual thing called life path. It might be
there is. So
It's life
it's in
path,
the relationship.
There's life events and journal. Is it all in journal then?
I would just put it in life
So-
events.
Yeah, so life
Okay.
events you can
I did
add
that.
like at age 16 you do this, age 17 you do
Yeah.
that.
No, you're doing it correctly so far.
Okay.
Yep. You can either put things directly into the history if you don't want to add it to your life events column, or you can add it as an individual life event. You're doing it correctly.
So age 17 would be the next one after my block of
Correct.
life path?
Yep.
Okay.
You're there.
No, you
Gotcha.
start at age 16, I believe.
Well, the first year is everything past 16. So the first
Right, so
event
17.
the first event is at 17. Yeah.
She's only 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not that. Couple of things to note for our followers. You can head onto our Discord and check the 2020 Cyberpunk game cast chat. In the pin section, you're going to find some inspirations for the music, shows that I watched to prepare for this. You'll also find how to play, specifically how to run combat, done by the company that made the game. And if you really want to know about the story of Dante Fierro and Die Party Night City, I included a link to that playlist. So if you want to submerge yourself in 2020, we've got it for you. You can you bathe in it. I'm really trying to get this guy, The Encounter, to give me the licensing rights to some of his songs, but he will not get back to me. I'm chasing after him with a fistful of dollars trying to throw it at him. This is actually really common for me, so... Everyone is quietly assembling their life. Some of them might be ruining it. I feel like Glimo is definitely...
My first two,
I'm definitely
my first two
ruining it.
roles were made a friend of an old enemy. The second one was made an enemy out of an old friend.
Wow.
2 years later.
You gonna double flip that then?
Both of them were female, so what I might do is actually make it the same person.
Yes, I want that. I want... Perfect.
So that sounds fun to me.
Yeah, I'm just going through, getting all the things, and then I'll go through
Okay,
again
now I see.
with the actual things.
Some more work for the folks at home. Just going to throw this out here. Radisaurus will be doing the overlay artwork. Sunspirit in chat. If you're live right now, Sunspirit has done both the logo and the animated logo, which looks pretty good. I got some Drumurboy tunes here. Dark City, Dark Synth. that will be making their way onto our playlist.
Yeah. And I'm sure after I'm out of Star Wars Town, then there will be a Cyberpunk thing maybe to do.
Listen, I got a Patreon account. I got dollars. We can make this happen.
And
It's
I've got
happened
a-
before, and it can happen again.
I've got a synthesizer and a whole bunch of distortion effects. So.
I can't wait to see what music you make based on this game. I want to know what your theme for this is.
When I was like thinking about it, there's a guy I'm on Tobin who's an electronic artist. He also has a second project called Two Fingers, which is like cyberpunk but hip hop. It's actually really cool. You should look it up. Two Fingers.
For me, the theme song of this show will probably almost certainly be not the Overlord. What was his name from Thor Ragnarok? Architect.
Was it Thor?
No, it's Jeff Goldblum.
Kidding.
I think it was Overlord
I've got a
or something.
question about my my story
Superman.
path here.
All right, hit me with
So
it.
in year 2, I make an enemy who has a small corporation.
Yes.
In year 3, I got disaster strikes, and I rolled. Never mind. I rolled hunted by the law, not hunted by a corporation. I read the wrong.
Listen, here's the thing. Did you know that corporations are the law in
I
most
know.
of America?
I read the wrong number.
It's
I was gonna
look-
say, I thought I got hunted by a corporation. I was gonna say, can I do it? Because the next
Yep.
thing is you better roll to see how big or small a corporation
Yeah,
it
no,
is. I
I'll
was gonna
take it.
ask if I could
I'll
just
buy it. Yeah, I'll buy that.
throw it in.
Let's do it. Yes, let's make the snake of time work for you.
But I actually rolled hunted by the law. So can I?
You can still have
Yeah.
cops that work for that corporation are the ones hunting you. So police in the Cyberpunk 2020
Right.
universe, very few of them actually work for the United States. Most of them work for the megacorporations, which are themselves the law.
The hunted by the law on page 37 in the actual book.
Yep, I'm there.
They actually all say specific police or
Oh yeah,
government
it says local
forces.
cops. All right.
Yeah.
So
So
the
I'm
state
gonna-
of New Jersey wants you.
Yeah,
then.
so I'm gonna roll this and okay, it's just local cops.
I'm being told that Jeff Goldblum's character in Thor Ragnarok was called the Grandmaster, and every time you see him, he's playing something new on the synthesizer. It's like wah-na-na-na-na-na. That for me, that aesthetic is this game. Jeff Goldblum, casual cruelty, calling them slaves with jobs. What was it? Prisoners with jobs.
Yeah, we don't like the word slaves.
Yeah, that
Oh,
his
goodness.
entire aesthetic is this entire game. So
Man, I'm getting a lot of friends.
I got a
Oh.
I did get a sensei though, so I have some martial arts. which is kind of
Capoeira,
funny.
Wang Chung, wait, Savat, Krav Maga.
Probably something karate. I like the idea that he does karate on his like recordings and stuff.
Oh my god. I like the idea that in the background you occasionally do, since you like changing your character up, that you do
Yeah.
Johnny Karate style videos like from Parks and Rec, where you're like, let me teach you some basic moves, kids.
Oh,
Sick reference, bro.
I know, I
Okay.
love Johnny
Love
Karate.
it.
Burt Macklin, FBI.
So, FBI.
Oh my god, that guy did an amazing work with Parks and Rec, and then he launched into Guardians of the
Yes.
Galaxy, and then I was like, I still like him better in Parks and Rec though.
Yeah.
I've heard a quick little like fact about that show is that the writers got so mad at him because he would improvise the funniest lines in the show, and they would end up making its air like better than they spent hours writing. And one of my favorite jokes in the whole series is one that he improvised. Leslie Knope was feeling sick, And so it cuts to him. He goes, Leslie, I typed your symptoms into the search bar and it says you may be having network connectivity issues. And I was like, that is fucking incredible.
Are we talking about Chris Pratt?
Yes,
Yeah,
we're talking
that's
about
my
this.
all-time favorite joke in that show. You may be having network connectivity issues.
There was the blooper where he threw the briefcase and broke the light switch.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so good.
There's another line, something about like Kim Kardashian or something like that.
Oh, that's an
Yeah,
outtake.
comebacks.
In the video, she got cum on her back.
It's
Oh
too
my
bad he's
God.
got kind of a weird. He's like his church is very weird.
I
Isn't
have
he
lot
a
of female
Scientologist?
acquaintances.
I don't know if he's Scientologist, but he's like in one of those weird ones.
What, Chris Pratt?
Just-
Yeah.
Hollywood churches are all kind of weird.
Yes, they are. Wow. You know, Scientology is the one thing missing from this game.
Mm.
I guess Mike Pondsmith just never predicted that it would become a big thing.
How could you?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Mm.
Sorry to all the Scientologists who watch my show, by the way. All 0 of you.
Freaking Paul
Now
Rudd.
0.
Freaking
No,
Paul Rudd on-
I
Paul
assure
Rudd
you,
on
it was
Hotwoods.
0 before.
Just the Paul Rudd on Hotwoods reaction. Just like, look at us. What? Who would have
Oh
thought?
my
Not
God,
me.
talking to himself. Oh, this is the best.
Great. Oh God.
Give me something other than fucking friends and enemies, please. Let's go.
Not gonna happen.
I'm getting a lot of friends and enemies, but actually
big
just all
problems, big
friends.
wins. Okay.
I did get a good luck thing. Got lucky. Powerful corporate executive owes me one favor.
I got that too.
Oh.
I'm wanting some romantic entanglement, but it's not happening.
Oh, I'm getting fast affairs and hot dates twice.
Man,
Ooh,
Wow.
ooh, wow.
this is a great dating app. Let's do that.
Ooh, fast affairs and hot dates as
Yeah.
a dating
Yeah.
app. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little lengthy, but you can like make it an acronym.
Yay! I got
FA,
Batty?
FAMP.
Yeah, I'm not into it.
Doesn't really work, does it? Okay.
All right, I've got everything now. I need to put it into some sort of concrete story.
Perfect.
just got 500 euro bucks. Hell yeah!
That's
Do we
not a
do
lot
we
of
do
money.
an event? Do we do an event for the current year or current age?
Let's. Yes, you do it. You do it one for each year after 16. So
Okay. All right. That's fine. I'm finally on my last one, for God's sakes.
I'm quite a bit.
All right, so Arthur, you're gonna like this.
yeah.
I made a female friend out of an old enemy. I made a female enemy out of an old friend
Okay.
who has an entire gang at her disposal. I made a female enemy who was a person that used to work for me. I foiled their plan. The feeling's mutual. We hate each other. And now she has a large corporation she can throw at me. So I don't know how that works. And then I got 500 euro bucks.
All right. Now look, I want to talk about. We're going to talk about both of these women. Tell me about number one. This is someone who was an enemy and then became a friend, then became an enemy again, and
Yeah.
she has a gang.
Yeah.
Tell me about the tempestuous love cycle that enemy, friend, enemy again, enemy mine, Eminem. Like, what happened here?
Yeah.
Who is she, and tell me about her story.
I like the idea that it was some sort of like she was like a snitch for me or something.
Ooh, a snitch.
Yeah.
You know that's not
some
easy.
sort of like CI or something like that. She, like, for her originally it was like, yeah, no, I want you to do an expose on this rival gang, so that, you know, the idea is that they can take over their territory when when there's a power vacuum after they get cancelled by the media.
Yeah.
And then I ended up finding something about her gang, and then I did an even deeper expose and pissed off her gang as well at the same time.
All right. Now, when you say expose the second time, you are not using a metaphor or an innuendo. You literally mean you investigated her gang and found something really bad about it.
Yeah.
Understood. What's her name?
Taylor something.
Is her last name actually something? I mean, I can work with that. Tell me about her gang. I'm just gonna let you invent a gang here.
I want to say that it's probably something to do with running something in the under Redline City. So probably tablets or something like that, right?
Like nutrition tablets or water tablets?
I'd say
or
like
drugs.
More like ecstasy.
All right, so she's a boost ganger.
Yeah. And she probably like has like her territory is probably like a bunch of nightclubs and shit like that where she sells a lot of the product, right? So doing the expose basically means that all the nightclubs kicked out all of her people, sort of thing, and she lost a whole shitload of business. And
so now you have a bunch of angry drug pushers trying to kill you.
Maybe, I guess.
Okay. Tell me about this other female enemy. You foiled her plan, and she has a large corporation to throw at you. Now, I mean, a gang, that could be upwards of 50 people. A large corporation, we're talking thousands. We're talking a large national interest.
Okay, so since this is like year 5,
yeah,
I want to say this is probably my time in space.
Okay, space.
Yeah.
All right.
So I like the idea that she and I were together to go into space to like cover this story.
So she's also in media.
Yeah. And I also like the idea that I saw a chance to like cover a more interesting side of things, and she wanted to stay with the ESA, and I went with the High Riders.
Okay, so you covered the Rebels' perspective, and then they won.
And then they won.
And your news report looked really good.
Yeah, and then but she ended up staying with the ESA at the end of it, like because she was sort of loyal to them, and that's probably how she has like the Megacorp on her side.
And what's her name?
So. Leslie something.
All right, so she's sister with Taylor something. I got it.
Wait. Okay. I see what you're saying. Leslie Green. There you go. That's easy.
Very well. Got it. Okay. Got anything else? You just made some money.
I made some money. Probably just like, I like the idea that it was like some early job I did for Dante. And he's like, hey, here's some money for you.
Yeah, it was probably the tutorial job. So let me go back and cover some of the early stuff. You're silly and fluff-headed. You value yourself the most. You let them have a good time, and people are wonderful. What's your most valued possession beside yourself?
It is a photograph, and it's probably just like a photograph of my huge family that can't escape from the corporate tower.
Every time you look at it, does it make you laugh?
Yeah, my family is basically me, but like the same.
Understand. Tell me about this family. It's time for me to start determining hostages and enemies. So. Okay,
so I have 6 siblings.
Jesus. Well, so let's start with the family.
Okay, so both my parents are alive.
Okay, that's a good start.
The family tragedy was that the family is imprisoned and I alone escaped. And my childhood was spent in a safe corporate suburbia, which pretty much lines up with the arcology.
Yep. I'm there. All right. Tell me about these kids. We got 6 of them.
So it goes 1, 2, 3. There's 3 males and 3 females. There's 3 older and 3 younger, so I'm right in the fucking middle, I guess.
Middle child. Makes sense. That's why you're always seeking attention.
In turn, the younger siblings hate me, except for the female, one of the males who's neutral. And the 3 older ones like me or are neutral. No, I didn't go through and do any style for them or anything like that. So
that's fine.
It seemed like a lot to do.
All right. I'm keeping an eye on these 2 younger sisters who hate you that you left behind in prison. Listen, that's some good crop feed. All right, we're gonna get bushels of plot out of that. Glimo?
And the other thing that I have is I have a sensei that gives me martial arts. Well.
Oh yeah, so I haven't mentioned it yet. One small change we're making to the rules is that if someone jumps you at point blank range with a gun, you can use martial arts to defend yourself or acrobatics.
Heck yeah, that is an amazing upgrade, because previously, if you walked up to someone on your turn and you put a gun to their head, they would die. Yep. Like, that's pretty much it. Because the DC difficulty check in range combat was, how far away are you from a person? So you would literally never miss. But with this, the DC would become an opposed roll against their martial arts skill, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, so basically, if you walk up to someone, put a gun to their head, they could, like, wah, the gun away from you, sort of thing. So,
Glimo, you kind of look like.
Do we get any like montage like moments of you like with your sensei? I would love that.
Karate sensei.
Yeah.
So I was age 20, so I was probably deep into the media game by then.
Oh, it was like, so your corporation was like, all right, look, you need a public fitness health plan. You're gonna do like a teach karate tutorial from your point of view.
Yeah. Also, we've put so much money into you, Mash, that we kind of need you to be fit.
It's just like 80 hours of you getting your ass beat from a first-person perspective. People are just watching you get thrown on a mat over and over again.
My personal
kid.
Yeah, my personal scream sheet page has like a 10-minute a 10-minute collage of me just like getting kicked to the ground over and over again by someone. Yeah. That's my most viewed video. No.
Glimo, you look like you're ready. Are you ready?
Sure.
All right, tell me about your family.
I'm working the last couple details out, but we'll do it on the fly.
Yeah.
So I am 21 years old. I was born to an arcology family. My parents got disowned by the corp, so they had to give me up for adoption. I was adopted by a family in the suburbs. They couldn't have their own kids, so they have 6 foster kids. 3 are older than me. 3 are younger than me, and 2 are older. I get on either good or neutral with all of them, but the younger kid hero worships me. But in my mind, it's all a one-way street. I never bonded with any of them.
Ooh, wow. That's cold.
I'm picky, fussy, and nervous is the trait I rolled. So I'm always worried that I don't fit in, and I'm always worried that people are just gonna keep walking out on me. I don't value a person at all. I value my cat the most.
Value your cat? No, stop. Tell me more about this cat.
And I have cat eyes as my corporate persona that my
oh my goodness,
do the cat eyes.
You love your
thing.
cat so much, you look just like him. All right, tell me the cat's name.
The cat's name,
Mr. Fluffykins.
Johnny Silverhand.
Johnny You're gonna name your. He's still alive in this timeline, and he's one of the most famous rocker boys. It'd be like naming your cat Justin Bieber.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. People do that shit all the time.
Really? I mean, my
Yeah.
cat's name is Amore, but she's a rescue, so I didn't pick it. I wish I didn't pick her. Oh my goodness. She unplugged my computer yesterday. It was infuriating. Oh, she's such a pain in the butt.
No, I shouldn't use the one on exploding kittens, apparently, because that gives me Napalm McBurpee Tuna as my cat's name.
No.
Calling your cat Napalm, though, is pretty sweet.
That's
I
a pretty
agree,
cool name.
yeah.
You know, Napalm might be it. Yes, my cat's name is Napalm. That's
All right,
it.
tell me one thing about this cat. Breed, hair color, fluffiness factor, affectionate level. Will she eat you when you die?
Definitely will eat me when I die.
Okay, got that.
If I'm calling it Napalm, it must be a tabby. Hates everyone except me.
And sometimes hates you too.
And sometimes hates me too, but definitely hates everyone else.
Okay.
I value money more than anything.
Ooh, value money more.
As
than
a
that.
fixer, that makes the most fucking sense.
Doesn't it? This one also works with the fixer. People are tools. Use them and discard them. My valued possession is a toy, so I'm saying that going with the cat thing again. It's a stuffed cat from before my parents gave me up.
Oh, before you were disowned?
Wow.
It's how you remember your birth family, who are locked away
Exactly.
in that arcology forever in the lowest caste strata because they were disowned.
At 17, I made a friend. It was a woman, a former lover. She's got biker leather, striped hair, nose rings. She's Japanese. She's a public figure, so I'm saying she's a rocker girl.
I'm thinking, oh no, it's not Goth Lolly, so we're not going to go with Baby Metal. All right, I'll work with this.
Oh, come on.
I love Baby Metal, but that doesn't fit with what he gave me. What it does fit with, interestingly, is his own fixer Sona. Is it based on her? Is that?
Actually, I've got the next one or my last one is that.
All right, okay, but wait.
So at 8.
Let's talk about this woman first. What's her name?
Okay. Kiara.
Kiara. Okay.
Kiara.
That's a good one name for a rocker girl. What's her genre?
Um,
Avril Lavigne. It's so genre now.
He's the one that replaced the
I'd
original
say
Avril Lavigne.
You know what? The idea that there's like an opera singer that's punk in Cyberpunk makes fucking total sense to me.
I mean,
You're
opera
struggling.
singing punk, isn't that gosh, I can't remember the name of that band. Did Hypnotize?
Hypnotic. No,
No, not them.
I know who you're talking about.
I know who I'm talking about too. I just can't remember
Yeah.
their name. I was really hoping Drummer would help me out with this.
What?
Yeah, I can't, the song is called Hypnotize, and they have a couple other.
Anyway, I
not
think
the
she
one by
does
Biggie
synth-
Smalls.
I mean, she either sings Sleemow or
No, listen, you can't make Sleemow a thing. That's
or
my.
synth-
I invented Sleemow.
or synth metal, I would say.
Synth metal. Okay, I'll buy that. Can't steal my thing. I'm gonna make Sleemow its own thing. Don't worry about it. It'll get there.
Perfect. I loved how you had put through Kenneth Cross into the pre-episode. That was awesome. At 18, I made an enemy.
All right.
And I rolled family, so I'm gonna say I made an enemy of my younger brother, the one that hero worships me, because it was caused a major humiliation. So I'm gonna say that my little brother wanted to go out on the street like me, and I completely humiliated him.
Did you haze him with like a gang or something?
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right.
So the feeling's mutual. We both hate each other. If I see him, I go into murderous rage.
Listen, this is all fantastic for me.
He went the complete other way after I blew him off, and now he runs a small corporation.
Oh, he straightened out his life after realizing he can't be like you.
Completely straightened out his life.
This story is very sad from your point of view. Like,
I got all of this because his personal value was hero. I was like, oh yeah, no, I screwed this guy. That's how this happened.
So what is your younger brother Jaden's name? Right, like his last name's Jaden because he's your brother. So
yeah, okay.
I honestly thought that his name was Hero. Like when you said
Hiro,
okay.
It's Snow Crash all over again. The main character's name is Hero Protagonist.
Oh my god, it's so apt.
Wow, you're from the Protagonist family? I had no idea.
The name of the band I was referring to as punk opera singers is System of a Down.
Oh,
Thank you,
wasn't
chat.
who I was thinking.
Yes.
You were thinking.
No, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I think it too.
Okay, I think I know where you got hypnotized from.
Yeah, that's the name of one of their songs, but yeah.
Is it the name of a song or an album? Or maybe both?
Maybe both. What do we got, Glimo? What's his name? Hero?
I'm gonna say is Robert.
Robert Jaden.
Actually, I don't think he's Jaden. I think he's got his own thing. I think Jaden's more my street name. I think he's
Robert Smith.
Robert Smith.
What happened there? Did you just join like a Bavarian opera or something? I'm just very confused.
Never mind. No one saw that weird episode of South Park a million years ago.
Nope.
Where Robert Smith fights Mechagodzilla.
What?
Oh yeah. From The Cure. Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
All right, I'm glad someone knows what you're talking about.
Jesus, that episode was like 20 years ago.
Right.
Robert
Probably
Paulson.
the last time I played Cyberpunk. So at 19, I took a hit, and I'm hunted by the law. I'm assuming that my brother probably put them on to me, but it's just local cops. And
I love that you say it's just local cops, as if the cops in this game don't have access to like rocket launchers.
Well,
All
you
right,
know, I feel like I probably had to leave the city that I was in. I rolled save everyone involved, so I think that he probably tried to screw me and my girlfriend over, and so we had to get out of town.
Okay. Got anything else?
The next year, I found a teacher, so I get a bonus intelligence skill. And then the last year, I made another friend, a guy. He was like a foster parent to me. This guy, this is my street persona: biker leather, mirror shades. He was Pacific Islander, moody guy, also a public figure. Although he says people are obstacles. He values love, but people are obstacles. So I'm guessing maybe he was like maybe he was a nomad. No, that wouldn't work with public figure. I don't know. I got to figure out this guy. This was the last thing I rolled, so I got to figure out who the hell this guy was.
Okay. All right. We have plenty more to learn about Coltan Bonez. Is that I'm pronouncing that right?
This is Bones.
Bones. All right.
The whole family Spanish thing kind of fell apart.
Okay. Newton Maxwell and Maxine Martini, but we will do so after we return from an 8-minute break. So, stick around. There will be a second half. Keep taking notes. Prepare for some more surprises. All right. Let's make sure that this does this right. Whoosh! I moved my hand in the wrong direction. I am filled with shame.
Right.